Thanks for taking time to hang out today, Jason.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man. So Spiteful Brewing obviously had a beginning somewhere, but the real beginning is not the day you decided to open Spiteful Brewing. It was your first alcoholic beverage, because then the dominoes fell into place. So I want to hear the story of your first ever alcoholic beverage.
God, I think the first ever alcoholic beverage I had was probably either a screwdriver or like a vodka 7 Up at a cousin's wedding.
Oh, that's very classy.
I think it was just more circumstantial than anything else. It was there and someone could sneak it to me quickly. And yeah, I was probably, I don't even know how old I was, but that's my first memory of having alcoholic beverages. And then it was obviously all downhill from there.
Well, I mean, clearly, how did you do at the wedding though? Were you able to like keep it under wraps? You're like, yeah, I'm fine. Everything's fine.
This was the party before the wedding. I think it was like the night before, and all the adults were drinking too. So I think no one really
cared,
noticed, at least not that I can think of.
Fair enough. So you go from screwdrivers to Spiteful Brewing. Can you take me through that story of how you got the idea and decided that you wanted to go into brewing?
Sure. So obviously didn't stop with that first beverage at the wedding, and was clearly someone who liked beer, but growing up in the Midwest, that beer profile was pretty much just Miller Lite and Bud Light. And then my buddy of mine that I've known since we were kids, went to high school together, played on the same hockey team. He moved back to town from Boulder, Colorado, where he was at school. So he was kind of introduced to all this great craft beer and introduced me to it. And we were kicking around the idea of doing something together. Initially thought about opening up a bar, quickly realized the only bar experience we have is on the barstool side. And maybe starting a bar in Chicago isn't the best of ideas. There's a few of them. So we kind of pivoted to what we were passionate about, which was beer. And so from that day forward, we read some books and kind of figured it out and decided to open up a brewery.
So why Spiteful?
So Spiteful, that's kind of how we are with our friends growing up.
We are spiteful, so it matched.
Yeah, it's got to match who you are, right? You got to have fun with it. And we're spiteful people. We're very, very nice unless you do something we don't like. And then we can kind of take it to that next level and just kind of ball breaking with our friends growing up. That's kind of how we were. So Spiteful Brewing was born. We had kicked around some other names that weren't quite working based on some trademark laws, and yeah, Brad texted me, how about Spiteful Brewing? And it was like the light bulb over my head went off. I'm like, that's it.
I live for spite. Of course. This is what it has to be.
Everybody does, right? Everybody's spiteful about something. And that's kind of what's kind of worked out accidentally with our brand is everybody can relate to being a little spiteful. The happiest person, most sunshine and puppy dogs and ice cream person, still has a little bit of spite in them sometimes.
And God, if it doesn't fuel you, fuels.
Right?
Absolutely. So then tell me, as you mentioned, there are quite a few bars in Chicago, but now there are also quite a few breweries in Chicagoland. So what sets Spiteful Brewing apart? What's your brewing philosophy?
So our beers typically we started off brewing what we like to drink, which is what every craft brewer will probably tell you, because we all kind of just, why wouldn't you make what you like to drink? But we've kind of turned into, so we went from like IPAs and stouts and porters to now we brew like kind of classic styles. We do have a bar now, ironically. Almost 9 years later, we did open up our tap room about 3 years ago up in the on Balmoral in the Bowmanville neighborhood, right between Lincoln Square and Andersonville. And we tend to have a lot of classic German, English, and American styles of beer. But I'd say drinkability is kind of the backbone of all of our beers. They're more balanced and drinkable because you want to have more than one usually when you're having beer. And it's kind of just ever evolving with our tap room and the diversity of styles that we're able to offer.
Yeah. So tell me about this beautiful tap room that you guys have.
Yeah. So tap room, 16 beers on draft and cider for those gluten-free people. But that's it. We're not allowed to sell anything else. And that's okay with us because it keeps things simple. So one product. And yeah, so we have our cores, which are Spiteful IPA, Spiteful Lager, our Bleacher Bum, actually, which is in Wrigley this year, which is awesome. And then we round it. Sorry about that.
Okay.
And then we round it out with, we still have our original brew system. So we started in 400 square feet, which is like the size of an apartment. And so we have small equipment to make small batch beers, and we round out the rest of our tap list with those kind of different beers that you can't really get everywhere else. So you can have your Vienna lagers. We do have stouts always still. That's definitely, first beer we ever made was a stout. So we typically always have at least one of those on. And then your IPAs and even some of the hazy stuff. So we're a little bit of everything for everyone.
Do you think that small brewing system is advantageous, or do you think it's disadvantageous to only be able to work with so much at a given time?
No, it's hugely advantageous to us because it allows us to focus on our core for distribution in the market. So, if Wrigley Field runs out of our beer, I don't think they'd be very happy. So the large system can focus on the core stuff, and then it allows us to have a lot of fun and play with all these other styles and offer something different if you do want to come out here that you maybe can't find at your local stores and your local bars.
So you guys have been open for a minute now, and had quite a few people coming in and out of your door. Is there a customer that sticks in your mind? Maybe you have to laugh when you think, oh, well, I already know you have one. It's already there. I see it. Let's hear it.
No, you know what? We have a really good customer base. We don't have a lot of like crazy, because we're not a bar. You can't really get shots here. So people are very controlled. I would just say like we've got a great revolving neighborhood regular cast that comes in, and we get supported so well by the neighborhood that I'd say any one of them could be, we feel like we get to know them over the years and continue to, and they supported us like crazy during the pandemic, which is the ultimate compliment to us. And we're extremely happy and proud that they did that. So I don't have any one great character, just I'd say the whole neighborhood that comes in, and they all have their own unique personalities and characteristics, and we love it. It's great to be able to interact with everybody here at our space, and then also be able to see our beer available elsewhere.
That was a very diplomatic answer, and I'm sure no one has ever tried to steal your toilet paper or anything like that.
That, if that happens, we probably wouldn't notice. I bet you someone has done that. Actually, my brother, I think, did that one time.
You should send him a bill.
Yeah, because he was out, and I was like, man, that is not, like, go stop at the store on the way home. Don't be taking that from us. So yeah, no, we've had pretty overall just a good crowd here. So I don't have any crazy off the wall customer stories like you would expect some bars to have.
Fair enough. Good crowd, good times over at Spiteful Brewing.
Definitely.
So what do you guys have on the docket for 2021? Obviously coming off a very rough year last year. Is there stuff that you had to put off last year that you're excited to get to this year, or is it mostly a recouping kind of deal?
Just kind of recouping and getting back to selling beer at bars and restaurants. We were very heavy bar and restaurant over the last few years. We used to self-distribute our own beer, which meant we were very heavy on the package side. But once we got with a bigger distributor, we were able to get more access to restaurants and bars. And so it's really kind of focusing on building that back up. And because that supports everybody. It supports our local economy with those restaurant and bar owners, and then their team of people. So it's just nice to see things finally opening back up. It's certainly something we've been excited for a long time. And sorry, 1 second. Oh yeah, absolutely. Sorry, we're setting up. We're opening for the tap room
cool.
right now.
You know what? Bring them in. The more, the merrier.
Yeah. So my office is actually also the utility mop area. So
well,
yeah,
you're living the life.
Yeah, definitely.
Is what's happening.
So for 2021, we're really just trying to focus on getting our business back up and running the way we know it can be, and looking forward to supporting the people that have supported us and just getting back open with the economy. It's nice to see people are definitely excited to go out. We've been busier here than ever before, and we're starting to really see it pick up out in the city. It's great. People are ready for it.
Oh yeah. I mean, beer. There's beer there at Spiteful Brewing. We want to go to where the beer is.
Beer tends to be a good, people definitely like beer. So it's better for us than maybe some other people over the, we're not making like Barbie dolls or something like that. That would be a different story. So.
Sure. So what is something that you want, your customers, when they go into Spiteful and they grab a beer, what is something that you want them to leave with feeling?
I'm sorry, can you ask that one?
Totally fine. Yeah, no worries. So when a customer walks in to the tap room, what is the ideal night for them from your perspective?
I think from my perspective, like we try to be the corner tavern just without the booze because we're not allowed to sell it, but that kind of feeling of community and just, what's better than having a few beers with some friends, over an evening? And that's kind of, what we hope people walk away with is just that, yes, we want them to really enjoy the beer, but also the experience of being out and having a good time. And if we can do that, then I think we've won.
Are you guys looking into getting your liquor license and that's something you want in the future, or you like keeping it simple?
No, we like to keep it simple. We're actually not
Ah,
allowed to based on our license.
okay.
Anyways, so we, even if we wanted to, we would not be able to serve any booze. But there's
Fair
plenty of
enough.
places around us that, when you need that shot of whiskey, there's people that will have us. So
I like the almost not excuse, but just the simplicity of being like, all right, I'm gonna go in here, I'm gonna have beers. I know what my night is going to be like. It is going to be tempered. I don't have to worry about having any sudden plans like pop in, because if beer is anything, it is reliable. That is for damn sure.
that it is, you know exactly what you're getting into, and where your night goes from there, it's up to you. But it just, won't be here after a certain time or for certain beverage choices. But we like it that way. We let people bring in their own food. We had brats for a minute and during the pandemic, which we might bring back, but that would be the extent of our menu, is just brats.
Sure.
And yeah, so we're just, we're just a stop along the way. You don't necessarily have to have your whole night here, but we like to be part of it in some way.
Yeah, you just like to contribute your small, like, oh man, it was really fun when we went to that brewery during our brewery hopping last
Exactly.
night. Spiteful really stuck out in my head because of its simplicity, but coziness and warm welcome.
That's it. Yeah, you hit that right on the head.
Hell yeah, man. So, you mentioned that your menu would just be brats. So, is it a you can bring your own food kind of thing, a food truck kind of thing? What's the kind of thing?
It's bring your own, order in. We tried the food truck thing and it doesn't really work out the way we wanted it to. So I think it's better for people just to kind of have the option of whatever they want to bring in, whether you bring it from home or order out. We've got great places around us that deliver. I think everybody delivers nowadays anyways. So um, yeah, it's kind of very relaxed and easygoing. We don't get too concerned about the food options. We don't want to be a restaurant. We have zero desire to extend beyond brats. Typically, you see a lot of pizza boxes on a Saturday night, and because what goes better with beer than pizza, and that's so yeah, kind of whatever works for you works for us.
I actually really like that. And it's frankly what I prefer almost is to bring in my own food. Cause you know what? I can only eat so many mozzarella sticks at so many different breweries before I'm like, okay, can I like have this beer, but with like some sushi maybe?
If you people have done that, you can do it. So
I bet.
yeah, no, it makes it easy for us. And again, we're trying to be in the easy, comfortable spot to go to. There's no pretension when you're here, and it's all about having a good time and drinking good beer.
I love that. Is there anything you want to let the people know before we wrap up?
I would say go out and support your neighborhood spots. We all need it badly. It was a tough year for everyone. So even if you're not ready to go out to a restaurant yet, order in, order takeout. But the industry needs help to build back up. So go out and support whoever's close to home.
And tip on takeout orders too.
And tip heavily, because yes, that's all. That should be the rule always.
You would think you wouldn't have to say it, but here we are.
Yeah, exactly. You haven't gone out to eat in a year. You can throw a little extra on the table there to help everybody out.
Precisely. All right, man. Well, thanks for hanging out.
Yeah, absolutely. Glad you guys are here, man. It was rough when we lost the other rock station. So to see someone rise up through the ashes has been great. I know it's not in my car all the time. So thanks for having me. Thanks for bringing rock back to Chicago. And yeah, we look
Thanks
forward
for rocking out, man.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. Love it.